Welcome back everybody to another World of Tanks video. My name as always is Maxwell, and today we're going to be taking a look at some of the 9.0 changes to the various different maps. First off, before we get into the video, I want to give a big shout out to Pointy Haired Jedi. Just say massive thanks for joining me in the training room here. You can see him there marauding around. So a big thanks to him. He also does pretty good World of Tanks content. If you want to go check that out, leave him a like, favourite, and if you enjoy his stuff, definitely have a subscribe to his channel. I'll put a link for that in the description. If I remember, I might even put one on the screen right about now. So, first and foremost, on all of the maps in the game, you may notice that there are going to be some graphical improvements. The shader quality and the lighting quality has been improved drastically. You may notice it on these buildings here at about this range. The various different textures on the various different materials have been changed to actually reflect what the texture is. Now this isn't a HD model of the Chaffee, but as you can notice, it definitely looks a lot more metallic than it used to. And if we have a look over here, this little wooden shed looks a little bit more wooden, and this brick structure here looks a little bit more brick. That's thanks to all of the shader upgrades that they've been doing. And if I'm not mistaken, this feels like it runs a little bit better, a little bit faster than it used to. So anyway, that's enough waffling on about the shaders. Let's have a look at the actual map changes now. So the first big one, just going to smash these logs, yeah. So, first one you may notice, well, you may notice that the Chaffee has had a little bit of a change. It's this is the upgraded turret, but for some reason it looks like the old turret. But anyway, so the map itself, the hill in the northern location is the big change that we're going to see right off the bat. As we climb up here, you may notice, I think this rock here is brand new. This thing, because the enemy team or the other team on the other side there has the church, I think they've decided to put this rock formation in here rather than removing the church. And this is going to allow you some cover from the enemy coming down from the hill, and it's also going to provide some cover from that left-hand side there. So basically just making it a little bit more of a mirror matchup without actually just perfectly mirroring. The other thing you may notice is the hill is considerably different. We've got this large rock here. I think there was a rock like it earlier on, but they've just extended, made that a little bit bigger, and given this hill here what is basically a shelf. So as you drive up here, you've got the main hill, which is pretty much unchanged. You've still got the windmill and the building up there, but you've got this other little lip here, which you can duck down into. The great thing about this is you don't need to fear getting shot from that left-hand side there, because you have this wall here to defend and block off any shots that may come in from there. There are little bits where you can sort of poke out and have a look over the top. If you've got some good gun depression, this is going to be a fantastic sniping spot for you, because if you can get into a great hull down position here and then fire out over the top. Obviously the Chaffee's a tiny little tank, so it's not going to be able to fire over the top of these, but if you can get sort of just your turret over the top and have a look over, that's going to be an excellent firing position. And obviously they've got this rock in the center here, so that both teams, as one comes in from that side and one comes in from this side, you can square off around about this rock here. But you have to be careful from the guys up the top there, because you're not totally shielded from the top of the hill. So there's been a couple of minor changes at the top of the hill. As you may notice, this is a lot flatter. There used to be little ridges here and bumps to protect people as they approach the top of the hill. But now I guess with the addition of that little extra hill here, they feel they don't need so many bumps and irregularities in the terrain. So this has been totally flattened out compared to how it used to be. But as I said, if you're here, you can definitely fire down into that location there. So definitely have to be careful of this little lip here. So it seems like Wargaming's definitely going around and flattening out a lot of the maps, changing them to be a lot more uniform than they would otherwise be. So we're going to sweep down this side, and again, as you can see, a lot flatter and a lot more uniform. Church is still here, so they haven't gotten rid of that. In the center here, this is pretty much unchanged, apart from the roll of the terrain's a little bit different. So you've got this rock here and this little raised section here. We've got something pretty similar on the other side there. We'll just go take a look at that. Try not to smash our tank to pieces as we do so. As you can see, you've got this flat open terrain here. The one good thing, as you can see, is you've got this big sort of lee in the terrain. You've got this big dip here, and if I have a look here, I'm with the height of my tank, I'm totally shielded in this little dip from anything in that direction or that direction. So this obviously offers some fantastic scouting routes. You'd be able to spawn in, drive your light tank all the way along here, and then get to this position here. Not sure if you're going to be able to climb this little wall here. The Chaffee doesn't seem to have the engine power to be able to do that, but other light tanks, especially going at full speed, may be able to do so. But even if you don't climb that wall there, you've definitely got a fantastic scouting route here. And vice versa, if you spawn on this side, then you can just sweep right across. As soon as you get into this little lee here, then it's only people up on the ridge there that are going to be able to fire down on you with any kind of accuracy and ability to kill you. As you can see, totally defended from that left-hand side from anybody. So a lovely little change there to this open plane, making it not necessarily so open in the end. So we'll head around the right-hand side of this church. I definitely feel like the game's running a lot better. I mean, I know there's only 2 of us in this battle, but I definitely feel like the graphical performance has been improved, even though the graphical quality has also been improved. So just having a look around here, this all looks pretty much the same. So there's one other big major change we can go take a look at, which is the swamp area, where you normally get a lot of light tanks going to. And we'll just head into the enemy base and then sweep down into the swamp. So the swamp is this little area on the left hand side, and what you normally do is, if you're a light tank or a good spotter when you spawn here, you creep along this little swamp area and get into a bush. It's pretty much, depending on your view range, this bush here. If you can get here, then you see by the size of the bush, you're pretty much you're never going to get detected from any angle, and you can just spot all of the enemy from all the way over there. So you can see there's a lot of changes being made to the swamp here. It's not slowing the Chaffee down particularly much, which is great, and you've got a lot more terrain irregularities here. As you can see, still you can't get shot from that left-hand side. You're still open, sorry, the right-hand side, not knowing my right from left there. He's still open to the left-hand side. Jedi just going for a little bit of a fly there. So you're still open to the left-hand side, but with the changes that have been made over there, you're probably going to be a bit safer, because they're going to be more focusing on battling each other there. And you've got this lovely little raised section in the terrain here made to sort of defend you from the front. So definitely the swamp is going to become a bigger point of contention in battles I can see in the future. And as you can see, there's a lot more places that you can hide and take shelter, whereas before it was pretty much you would just be out in the open and a little bit screwed if you get caught out in there. I'm going to take a quick look at the far left-hand side here and just see if there's any particular changes over there. I don't think so. I think everything over here still remains pretty much the same, which is if you can get a light tank or a fast medium into this position here, then you can really wreak havoc on the enemy team as they come over the lip to try and get to you. So it looks like this is all pretty much the same. Just going to avoid these boats here. So yeah, this all looks pretty much the same. You can still get to the little island over there, and that all looks unchanged. Actually, this little beachhead here looks like a new addition. So now when you spawn in that location there and you get to here, you've got this lovely little beachhead here and drive around, and that offers fantastic defense from the base over there. And you've still got this little island here that you can get to. So some fantastic changes being made to this map, let alone to the shaders themselves, so that pretty much all of the materials look a lot better than they did before. Just want to double check. So the Chaffee's gun remains the same, 137 pen, 115 damage. It's just the look of it that's changed. So I think that's going to be it for this look at the 9.0 changes to Malinovka. Hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, definitely leave me a like or favourite. And stick a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what your favourite part of this new map is. I'm going to take a quick look over there. I'll do my signing off spiel as I'm driving to that location. So yeah, Definitely leave me a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what your favourite part of this new map is and what you think the new dynamic's going to be like for battles on this. If you're not already, then definitely consider hitting that subscribe button for a lot more content like this in the future. There's going to be a lot more map previews and just general World of Tanks content to come out over the next few weeks, months and years. I can see myself playing this game for a long time to come. So this looks pretty much unchanged. Maybe that little bump there is different. But no, this all looks pretty much unchanged. So, thanks very much for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the video. I have been Maxwell. This has been my look at the 9.0 changes to Malinovka. And I will catch you guys next time. Welcome, everybody, to another World of Tanks 9.0 map update video. My name, as always, is Maxwell, and today we are taking a look at Pearl River. Before we get into it, I just want to say a massive thank you to Pointy-Haired Jedi for joining me on this little expedition to have a look at the new maps. If you want to go check out his channel, link for that is in the description. He also does a lot of fantastic World of Tanks content. So first things first, you may have noticed that the spawn locations of the map, of the bases have changed. The old base for this team would have been there, and the old base for the south team would have been around about there. So now that is... well, these have totally changed, and it just means that someone coming in for a base capture gets considerably more cover. It's not quite as open, but it does still leave a lot of opportunity. So, first things first, we're going to head to the far north, because there's a lot, and I mean a lot, of changes to this map that we have to get through and make it through. So, first things first, as you see, they haven't really changed the old spawn location of the base for this team. They've flattened it out a little bit, and it leads up into some paths through the centre of the map, but that's not what we're going to have a look at right now. First things first, we're going to have a look at the northern section of the map, then we're going to take a quick look at the southern section of the map, and then we'll maybe drive through the centre. But like I said, there's a lot to get through on this map. So far so good. This looks pretty similar to normal until, see, all looks pretty good here until you have a look to your right and see, what's that? That's another little road up there. So, if we head up here and see where this leads to, we can see that this little road winds its way up through the hills here, and lo and behold, well, you've got a little route through the bridge there if you like, but lo and behold, this thing comes out in the centre of the map here, which is a whole new route. So this is very tight, very winding. If you come up against another tank head on, it's basically just going to be a slugfest until one of you falls over. To get to this location, it's just this little winding path here that leads up into the mountains that I said I wasn't going to take at first, but obviously that was just a complete and flagrant lie, as I've just done that. But we'll head back up, and we'll head through to the enemy side, the opposite side, and see where that leads to. So at this point here, you can either take a right-hand drive and head out that direction, or you can take a left-hand turn and either go around to the start of your area or head round to the back of the enemy's little camping area. If you've spawned at the location that I've spawned, I wouldn't recommend really coming down here in an effort to sort of get to that location there, because as soon as you pop out here, you're going to expose yourself to, as you can see, the old base location of the opposition team, and then the new base location over there. So you're going to find some people camping around this area here, and it's not going to prove particularly healthy for you. So I don't think you could make it up there. You could make it down, but I don't think you could make it up there. So, gonna head all the way through here. And I think everything else in the north has pretty much remained the same, but you may... so you may see that the colours of the maps has changed a lot as well. This looks a lot deeper and the colour is a lot richer, but this area here pretty much just looks unchanged. Like, it's all really just the same. So, battles here are going to remain pretty much the same, but you have the added bonus of not having to brave the ridiculous bridge. Because what would normally happen is if the allied team here pushed through and the enemy would just camp at that location there, and it would just be one massive stalemate, and battles would just get bogged down for minutes and minutes in this location. So what we can do now is, if you win the enemy team's going to have to, well, the team that spawns on this side is going to have to get to pretty much this location and hold this spot. If they don't hold this spot, then they're going to lose control of this road here. And if they lose control of this road here, the allied team is going to be able to push through. As you can see, you can get to this place pretty much in cover, and then that just gives you access to the whole spawn area of the opposition team. So we'll head back up through here into the center, and we'll see where that third road leads, or the second road on this side. Oops. Crashing into the wall there. Just having a little shot. You may have noticed actually the smoke and fire has been improved as well. If we take a look at a top-down shot, we get the beautiful little smoke plumes, one out on each side and one to the front, and the fire animation looks a lot nicer as well. So lots of graphical improvements there too, looking very, very nice. So when we head around to this area here, this is going to be the road that the opposition force is going to drive in. But if you can get access to it from the north there, then you can try and hold the enemy here, which is going to be a great point of contention. So this has changed a little bit as well, but again, just to add the road in, so that you can get up this little ridge to the new spawn location. So the old spawn location for this team was on this open plain here. Now this has been moved to this area and flattened out a little bit. And what we'll do is we'll take this road here and just see if there are any significant changes in that area. What I will say is this looks like it's going to be open to a little bit of camping as well. If someone can get themselves in here, then they've got a pretty good position, as you can see, to just defend the allied base. Although it doesn't really give you cover from that road, you'd have to really tuck yourself in. Oh, and the building's destructible, so that's good. So they can't just hide here. I don't think this one's destructible because it looks a little bit too big. But definitely going to be opportunities to camp here. So this is probably going to be a favourite haunt of the artillery because it's nice and secluded. And it's going to be nice and difficult for the opposition force to get at you. So let's have a look in the south and the left-hand side of the map and see how that looks. So far, apart from the location of the base there, it looks like this, just judging by what I can see on the mini-map, it looks like this might be pretty much unchanged. Although this looks fairly open plan compared to how it was. But, oh no, actually it was pretty much like this. I normally spawn in this location and drive that way. But no, this all looks fairly similar to how it looked before. So we'll just take a little drive up here, and as you can see, not really much change. We'll see if we can head down here without smashing ourselves to pieces, because I like taking shortcuts. We can slide to victory. So yeah, the this area all looks pretty much the same. Trusty rock there, trusty little outcroppings. The only things that's really going to change here is I would expect more tanks to start using this route, thanks to the changes in the spawn locations, with the spawn locations being moved from those open areas. This Jedi just perched majestically on a rock there. With these spawn locations being more open plan, I can see these locations getting used a lot more than they were previously. Normally you would only see some light tanks, maybe one tank destroyer and a couple of mediums taking these positions, and you wouldn't really see that much more. What I'm going to do is continue along the road and see if we can spot any kind of significant changes to this road here. If there isn't any, then we'll head off into the centre, and then that's pretty much going to be it. But to be honest, this all looks very, very similar to how it was before. That's one big long road that leads to the spawn location, and this should be the other road that leads to the new spawn location. And like I said, pretty much unchanged here. Yep. So expect some protracted battles around this area here. But apart from that, this is pretty much unchanged. So we'll head on into the little town over there and see if there's much changed over there, because we can see a few little paths in and through the buildings. Can we make it down there? Probably not. We might be able to make it down here. So, as you can see, the buildings have been pushed way, way out compared to how they were before. You'd normally just have a couple of little buildings that you could sneak your way through, but now a lot more buildings. That one's not destructible. Some of them look like they are destructible, like maybe that one there. Yep, indeed it is. So, buildings pushed out a hell of a lot more here. So I can imagine a few heavies taking this route, because the buildings are going to offer a good shield from fire from the left-hand side. And then... Yep, there we go. So it looks like you can't make it any higher, just like before. So we'll head all the way around this little village part and see if there are any super changes around the other side. And then I think it's probably about time to wrap it up. I'm still pretty impressed with the graphical changes. Everything does look a lot richer and a lot deeper, and I'm not just using a colour filter here. This is still the standard colour. Ooh, nice addition of a rock here with these destructible buildings, although I assume, yep, they are destructible. So nice little addition of this rock here to fight around. And again, these buildings are going to provide some great cover from the flank over there, whilst also being a great place to fight. So I think when I spawn into this map from now on with a heavy tank, I think this is definitely the position I'm going to take. And this looks pretty much unchanged, although I can't really see the water mill anymore. Ah, there we go, the water mill from before, where we did the World of Tanks space program. Although I don't think it is spinning. Yes, it is still spinning. But yep, that's going to be it for the look at the changes of Pearl River. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave me a like or favourite and stick a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what your favourite changes to this map are and what you are looking forward to most with this map and how you think the dynamics are going to change. If you're not already, then definitely consider hitting that subscribe button for a lot more World of Tanks content like this in the future. I've been Maxwell. This has been World of Tanks 9.0 map look at Pearl River, and I will catch you guys next time. Welcome back, everybody, to another World of Tanks 9.0 map update. This one is going to be on the Serene Coast. And before we get into it, I just want to say a massive thank you to Pointy Haired Jedi for joining me on this little jaunt to have an explore around these maps. If you want to go check out his channel, there is a link in the description. He also produces high-quality World of Tanks content. And if you enjoy it, leave him a like, leave him a few views, hit subscribe if you enjoy that stuff, and tell him I sent you. So, we're going to head over the left-hand side because I'm pretty sure that's where most of the changes have happened. You may be able to see some of the changes already. There appears to be a distinct lack of hill. So it looks like the massive hill on this side is pretty much gone. You've still got the rocks dotting around the depressed middle section, and I mean depressed as in sunk down at the ground, not it's feeling particularly sad and lonely. So normally this left hand side here there will be a big hill then people could fire down. I think the reasons behind this is people were having too much access to fire at too much of the map. So as you can see now, I mean, you've still got the defense from the right hand side of these raised sections. If you stay sort of in the little dip down here, then you're still pretty much safe. And you've got little corridors of access here and further ahead. And then if you really want to, you can crest the ridge here. If you've got good gun depression, then you can crest the ridge here and get shots on the enemy team as they move around, as you can see. But the major change is no big hill. There is a smaller hill in the centre here, and that's just to separate the guys who spawn in the south and the guys who spawn in the north, meaning that you can't just fire upon each other as soon as you get into this flank. You do have to do some manoeuvrings and some workings. But this is a nice little dip here. I like the look of this one. And that's just because the raised section here defends you from the right-hand side. This section here defends you from the left. And then both teams have to sort of meet each other at the hill. I would imagine that the team spawning in the south will probably be able to get to around this location at about the same time as the other team. So I would imagine that this would be the location that both teams would generally meet. One team on one side of this little hill here, and the other team on the other side of that little hill there. This map seems like it's had a performance boost as well. I know I was talking about that before, but I mean, I am recording and I was getting about 70 or 80 frames per second there, probably just because there's not much going on the screen. As soon as I look over there, then we dip down to the expected frames per second level. So this looks a little bit flatter as well. There isn't as much defense. Again, there's defense from this side, but there isn't really as much defense from the front. There's not as much position for people to go hull down. Remember rightly, this little ridge would sort of taper all the way into the rock there, and you could just, in an American heavy with good turret armor, you could just go perfectly hull down there, and there would be nothing anybody could really do about it. Apparently they didn't fix the floating rocks. That's fine. So we're going to head into the centre here and just see if there's any changes. This all looks pretty much unchanged. Nope, I didn't say that in all chat. So this looks pretty much unchanged, although I would say that this location may become a little bit safer with those high ridges on the hills over there now. The enemies, well, both sides are going to have to take a lot more risk in order to pop over the top and fire down into this location. I mean, this location wasn't particularly dangerous to begin with, but now they're going to have to take a lot more risk in order to get over and get some shots on the advancing tanks through this location. That's going to make it a little bit safer. I think the major changes for this map is the removal of that hill from over there, but we're still going to have a little drive around and see if there are many more changes. We'll head over to the north base. The base locations haven't changed, still spawned in the same area in the south. And we're going to head up and have a look at the base in the north, see if there's been any significant changes over there. Train track's still raised up, so you can use that as good cover, going hull down behind this, using it as a defensive tool or an attacking tool if you are over this location. So it looks like, actually, I just want to take a quick look here because we dipped down into that lower section. We didn't really get a look at here, but this looks about the same as well. There was normally this little raised bit, and then, yeah, this all looks pretty much unchanged here, and you can see as you come around here, you can see down into that location. So, yeah, whoops. Not taking good care of my chaffee here. So we'll go over to the northern base and have a look to see if there is any changes to where the artillery would normally hang out, which is this location over here. But I mean, Serene Coast got a major overhaul not too long ago. Excuse me. So I can't see the changes on this one being particularly significant. This all looks pretty much unchanged. So what we'll do is we'll just have a quick look around the dog leg. And if that's all the same, then we'll just call GG on that one. This all looks pretty much unchanged. Although, this... No, I think this was reworked in the last update. And I think this is exactly how it used to look. It's just, I remember there used to be a little raised bit that you could climb up on. But like I said, I think that was already taken care of in a previous update. But yeah, this all looks pretty much unchanged here. The church is still here. You've got the... I suppose you can get to... I don't know if you could always get to that little island there, but it looks like you can now. We'll have a little speed across here. And see, this looks like it's gotten shallower as well. I don't remember this being quite so shallow. So, looks like the water's been shallowed out, and we've got this little location here. I think before this was inaccessible, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure if it was accessible, somebody will leave me a comment in the comment section letting me know that I am absolutely wrong. So, pretty sure this wasn't always accessible. So we'll have a spin around the northern area and see, is this all shallow, or will I drown at certain points? It looks like this is, it's getting a little bit deeper there, but not significantly deeper. And then around about the church here, this all looks pretty much unchanged, apart from maybe the little addition of this little outcropping of land here. So we'll go take a look at that. Whoops! Didn't realise that was quite as well. I don't know. This is definitely changed. This has definitely changed. There used to only be a little beachhead of land here, and you would sort of poke around the church here and fight each other. As this is generally the area that both teams would meet, but now we've got this lovely big open stretch of land. We've got this little outcropping of land. This is a little bit pointless. I can't see anybody really taking to this location, although being here allows you to fire down on the advancing enemy over there. So it looks like this area here has actually been flattened out and stretched a bit, especially this bit here, for extra area for fighting on. There's going to be a lot more opportunities for heavy and medium tanks to do battle around about here. As like I said, this has been stretched out and elongated. Little outcroppings of land there. I don't think you can make those. I think you would probably have to have a really fast tank to make it over there, but not that I'm sure why you would want to make it over there. As it wouldn't really provide any kind of tactical advantage. I think that is about it for the Serene Coast. There's a few more locations at the back here, but again, they're right at the back of the map. They're not really going to provide any kind of tactical advantage. I just want to take one quick last drive through the village, which we didn't do before, as we came underneath the train line. But like I said, the major change is over on that left-hand side there, with the removal of that big hill. And the flattening of the land on that right-hand side. Everything else looks pretty much the same. So town here looks relatively unchanged. So anybody who'd like to fight in this location, you'll see that it's all pretty much exactly the same. So that's going to be it for this look at the Serene Coast in the 9.0 update. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave me a like or favourite if you found it informative and useful. Definitely leave me a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think these changes are going to do to the dynamics of the map and how you play on it, and if you think it's going to have any kind of significant impact whatsoever. I have been Maxwell. This has been World of Tanks. If you're not already a subscriber, then definitely consider hitting that subscribe button for a lot more content like this in the future. I have been Maxwell. This has been World of Tanks, and I will catch you guys next time. Welcome back to World of Tanks, everybody. Another look at a 9.0 map update. This one is to Severogorsk, and it's probably the last major map change. There's a few others listed in the patch notes, but from what I've seen, the changes aren't particularly significant. So before we get into it, I just want to say a big thank you to Pointy Head Jedi for joining me on this little expedition to look at the various maps. If you want to check out his YouTube channel where he produces fantastic World of Tanks content, you can check out the link in the description. So first thing you may notice is the spawn location and the bases have changed. Rather than spawning all the way, let me just bring the map up. Instead of spawning all the way over here and having the base all the way over there, now it's a lot more centralized. Same for this one. Instead of spawning over here and the base being over there, it's now a lot more centralized. So we're going to go and take a look at the major changes. There's a lot to get through on this map. As you are about to see, there have been some big changes to Severogorsk. And this is all just in the aid of apparently trying to stop camping and make the games a lot more dynamic and a lot more fluid. Wargaming's idea of making games more fluid and dynamic is apparently just to make them all flatter. As you may have noticed, there is no massive hill on this left-hand side now. The hill is completely gone. But don't fret, although the hill may be completely gone, the cover is not. So we head all the way around here. This would normally be a massive, massive climb up to the peak to try and do battle to each other, but as it is now, well, it looks like the building's still here that was here earlier. We'll just run that one down. So although the hill is gone, the cover is not. As you notice on the map, there is a big mess of rocks and everything around around this location here to do battle over, and we're going to go take a look at them now. So I love this little rock formation here, the little shelf, and what that's going to allow is for a heavily turret armored vehicle that's pretty large to just get in here and try and fire through onto people. Unfortunately though, you are going to have that little gap there, so you are going to have a little bit of exposed front hull, but big little inlet here for people to fight around. I can see that being a prized spot and a prized position for people to try and fight over. So we've got a few little paths through here, one to the north. So we'll take the northern route all the way through this way and then loop back as if we'd spawned in the other base. But as you can see, this is just a lot more open. As we come through here, we've just got all of the land just arrayed out in front of us, and then the other team has a little inlet here. So you can see if they've got some tanks sort of fighting over this spot here, and you're able to control the northern passage here, then what that's going to allow you to do is it's going to allow you to take position here, and if there's no tanks there to stop you, then you can easily just pop around the corner there and just have a shot at somebody firing through that hole there. And then once you've won this location here, you can push on forward and head through this way. So there's still the little ridge here, but no giant hill. So if we spawned in the other side and we fancy taking a more southerly route, this is the way you'd come through. You can see there's big open plains here, so there's really not really going to be as much camping available as there was before. I just like running these little houses over for some reason. So just on the other side of this rock here is the little firing position that we looked at before. So that there. What you can also do is, I suppose you could actually, it's pretty good here, you could be hull down here and then fire through there on anybody trying to take that position. So that might work out to be a better tactic than approaching it all the way forwards. So if you take a southerly route here, you see you don't get access to that firing position, and you have to be careful from the left hand side there, as this is now open to the main town. Although you do have this rock here which defends you from the front, and if you can take to say this position here, then you've got defense from the left hand side, and then you can push forward through the rock formation. And then you'd have to spin all the way around here to get anybody who's up in the north. But again, the irregularities in the terrain are going to allow tanks with good gun depression to just totally win in this situation. So this one definitely favours fast tanks and tanks with good gun depression and good turret armour. As you can see, as we make it out here, we come out into the open plains, and then this leads on to the base area. So we're going to take a quick look at the centre. It looks to me, just at a tertiary glance, that the amount of buildings have been thinned out significantly. We've just got a little dip in the terrain here. We're going to head down the frozen, dried up riverbed here and see what we can see. But to me, it really looks like the buildings have been significantly thinned out. Oops, just having a little bit of a crash into this person's house here. So, I mean, you've still got buildings that you can use. You can still hide around these buildings here. And normally you'd hide behind these buildings and fire up on the hill. But now that there is no hill, you can maybe see a lot of people taking to the side. I think the problem, the major reason I can see for flattening out this hill on the left-hand side is because nobody Really? Indestructible statue? Really? No. No, it's not. It's just his legs are left. So, the major problem I saw is nobody really went centre of the map unless they were either YOLOing or didn't really know the map, because anybody on the left-hand side could just fire down into the town and do significant amounts of damage to anybody silly enough to venture that way. But now, with it all being flattened out, there's no real position that you can take on that right-hand flank and just get easy access to fire at anybody over here. Looks like the riverbed has remained pretty much unchanged.
We've lost the track.
Just like to get some spinning air in the chaffee there. So yeah, the dried up riverbed looks like it's pretty much unchanged. So anybody who'd like to take that route is still going to be able to take that route. And then we're going to head all the way down to the southern base here, and then we're going to have a look at the left-hand flank, which I'm told hasn't really changed that much. So that should bring us nicely to the end of the video. So as you can see, the two bases are considerably more open to getting fired upon, so you can't do any kind of sneaky base captures. Not that you could really do it before, but definitely not now. So it looks like this hill on the left has actually been squashed as well, and given some new routes. Instead of just one path up, you've got two different routes you can take. You can take this main path here all the way around, as you can see, indicated by the road, or if you're feeling a little bit more adventurous and a little bit more dangerous, you can take this route here around the right hand side. But with the addition of all these rocks here, it again kind of negates the hill in that you can't fire down into the town. So I can see the middle of the map getting a lot more action than it would have before. Obviously you can take to this area here and possibly fire down, and maybe even fire right across into the other side of the map. As you can see, that there and that there is the very northern path, and that there that tanks would take. So if you can get to this position here quickly, I'm going to see if you can take a firing position behind this bush. No, I don't think you'll have the gun depression, but still, you can fire off one or two cheeky shots across the other side of the battlefield, maybe wreak some havoc unexpectedly. So really, the hills, like I said, I think Wargaming just saw that all that was happening on this map was everybody was fighting on the left-hand flank and the right-hand flank, and nothing was really happening in the centre. So in order to, address that, they've totally taken out the hill on that right-hand side. And added the addition of these large rock walls on this side, just meaning that you can't fire down from this hill either. Now, you know, I was saying that this would make a great position to fire from. This is actually going to be the corridor that the two teams are going to fight over, so nobody's really going to have easy access to this little spot here for shooting. It's really going to depend on who takes this location first. So that right-hand little piece of road just sweeps down into the enemy spawn area. And this one just does exactly the same, although it provides a little bit more cover. As you can see, you got this little lump of terrain here, and then again this just sweeps down and then across to the map there. So that looks like pretty much it for the major changes for Severogorsk. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it and you found it informative and useful, then leave me a like or favourite. If you're not already, then definitely consider hitting that subscribe button. Sorry, just going to head over and see what Jedi is pointing at. It's an impossible tank destroyer location over here. Ah, and that's probably true. Looks like you can probably see quite a lot of the map from this spot, although it's quite far from the spawn location, and I'm taking a retarded route up there. Blocked by all the trees. See if my little chaffee can make it. Oh, not quite. So I'd be surprised to see what tank destroyers could make it up that side. probably just come all the way around the back here where the slope is a lot smoother. But yes, this would be a fantastic tank destroyer spot. As you can see, if you don't put too many tanks on that left-hand flank here, then this position here, you can see totally hidden, is going to be great. So, like I was saying, hope you enjoyed this video, found it useful and informative. If you did, leave me a like, favourite and a comment. If you're not already, then definitely consider hitting that subscribe button for a lot more content like this in the future. I've been Maxwell. This has been my first look at Severogorsk on the 9.0 update, and I will catch you guys next time.